Meeting of the Minnehaha County Planning Commission, and we'll begin with a few introductory comments. Of course, as a courtesy, make sure your cell phones are turned off. Any action taken on the conditional use permit applications tonight will take effect 5 working days following this meeting unless a written appeal of the Planning Commission's decision is filed in the Planning Office by Monday, August 29th at 5 p.m. In the event of an appeal, the decision will be referred to the County Commission for a hearing on Tuesday, September 20th at or after 9 a.m. Meetings of the County Commission are held in this same room. This time, the Planning Commission will consider the consent agenda. The minutes of the July 25th meeting are included in the consent agenda. Are there any objections from the Planning Commission members to any of the items listed on the consent agenda? Seeing none, I will now read each of the consent agenda. If any member of the audience objects to any item, please raise your hand and the item will be moved to the regular agenda. Okay, so item number 1 is the approval of the minutes. Item number 2 is conditional use permit, 1654, to allow a single-family dwelling. And this is petitioner's Terry Bundy. It is located approximately 1 mile northeast of Lyons. Item 3 is a conditional use permit number 1655 to exceed 1,200 square feet of total accessory building, requesting 5,532. And this is Scott Van Kulen, and this is located at 26486 Bruns Place. It's approximately 1.5 miles west of Sioux Falls. Item number 4, conditional use permit number 1656 to exceed 1,200 square feet, accessory building, requesting 5,000. Petitioners Jared Smart, property owners Todd Olson. It's located at 26333 466th Avenue. It's basically a 1.5 mile north of the junction of Highway 42 and 17. Okay, seeing no objections. Item number 5, conditional use permit number 1658 to exceed 1,200 square feet of total accessory building, requesting 1,500. Petitioners Gary Hard, property owners Roy Parmalee. It's located at 26715 481st Avenue, approximately 2 miles east of Sioux Falls. And we have conditional use permit number 1659 to allow a contractor shop and storage yard, HVAC company, for an HVAC company. Petitioner's Todd Grunig, who is also the owner. It's basically, this is right east of Rowena, correct? Yes, that's where that is. Okay, no objections from the audience, so we have read each item. There are no objections to any of the items, so we will look for a motion for approval.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. So if you are on the consent agenda, you are approved and you may leave. And thank you for coming. And if you have a county sign that says this, please bring them back and get your $50 deposit. We need the signs, okay?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
as I look at these, number 3 is 1.5 miles west, number 5 is 2 miles east. Aren't these in our joint jurisdiction area?
They're just outside. They're close. They're close.
Okay, well, you know what I mean, though. It's,
Yeah, the 3 mile
Yeah.
joint
Yeah.
jurisdiction, yes.
It's
That
further
makes,
east, yeah.
it's a good question. Yes, Scott, your report.
Well, I have an item under new business I'd like to discuss with you. Last Thursday, I attended a community meeting with the city of Crooks, and there was probably 90 to 100 people. It was in the community center in Crooks. They had a lively discussion about the city of Sioux Falls, the county, annexation, a 3-mile platting jurisdiction, a joint zoning ordinance, joint zoning control. And it wasn't really put on by the city of Crooks. It was all put on by, or hosted by the building inspector, Bill Pearson, building inspector for the city of Crooks.
Oh, Bill's, I know Bill.
You know
Okay.
Bill.
I know who that is, okay.
He was very animated, and it was a very interesting meeting. There was a lot of fear mongering. He basically, the city of Sioux Falls is going to come gobble you up. And if you don't annex now, it's gonna be Big Brother telling you, what you need to do. The city of Crooks they had a meeting, one of their city council meetings was occurring at the same time in a different part of the building. Once that meeting was done, Mayor Rounds, I think it's Jamie Rounds, isn't it?
Rounds, yeah.
Mayor Rounds came out, then sort of moderated the rest of the meeting. And they are very, very interested in, if not annexing down to the Crooks exit, they certainly want to have joint control with the county all the way to the Crooks exit. They have a very aggressive area that they would like to take control of. And I explained that, they're frustrated. They feel it should happen immediately. And I indicated to them that that certainly would never be the case, because first of all, we'd have to write a joint zoning ordinance similar to the one we have with the city of Sioux Falls, and a joint zoning ordinance with the city of Del Rapids. And while it might mimic what we already have, I still think that you need to have some public input, some kind of a steering committee, like we did with the Red Rock Corridor study, or like we did with Envision 2035. You need to have community input. And so I wanted to report on to you with that, and the city finance officer was there. He has made an appearance before the county commission, and they don't feel that we are acting fast enough. And so I just wanted to report to you that I did it went from about 7, I left at 9. There were still people there. I talked to several of the developers. Jim Dunham was there. Mr. Hagan, or for the steel building. They certainly don't feel that there is a need for a joint zoning control. So anyway, even sat next to Kevin's cousin, so it was a lively meeting.
So the process, though, for them to change that would be?
Well, the process would be that they can take platting control. They can do a 1-mile platting control based on the size of their municipality. However, the joint zoning control has to be agreed upon by all the parties, which would be the county, us, and the city of Crooks. But they also, they would like to take in part of the foundation development park. And I strongly encouraged Mayor Rounds that they need to really work with the city of Sioux Falls and the city of Crooks to determine what their jurisdictions, where their boundaries would like to end. And the city of Sioux Falls is putting together a new growth plan, a 2040 growth plan, or growth showing their future growth. And I have met with the city of Sioux Falls. They're looking at splitting the city of, not the city, but the village of Crooks, or Renner. They would like to go right down 258th. I said that just, I think that's a mistake, either all of it or none of it. I mean, it doesn't make sense for the people on the north side to be out in the county and the south side to be in the city jurisdiction or area. So we did have a good discussion about that, but I'd be glad to answer any of the questions. I've had discussions with several county commissioners, and it's my feeling, this is my own opinion, I'm not speaking on behalf of the county commission, but I don't know if there's a lot of support for the idea of creating another joint zoning control with the city of Crooks when, we don't have one with Brandon, a joint zoning control. We don't have one with Hartford, and it seems to function perfectly fine. And the burr, I guess I will tell you, the burr under the saddle, which really upset the city of Crooks, was, if you remember back in January, we approved a pumping station a half-mile west of Crooks for Lewis and Clark Water. And that is really what upset them. And I asked them, I said, what was so what was so grievous about that pump station? Well, it just didn't fit into their plans. It just did not fit into their plans. They wouldn't specify what they didn't like about it, but I just think that, I don't know, I didn't think that land use is certainly a benefit to every community in the state that has access to rural water or Lewis and Clark water. And, I think the state is very keen on getting that that water line up and going. This was a way for it to tie in to provide water to Madison, as I understood it. And so it's vital to our whole region. And so the fact that they took such great exception to a 1 acre pump, basically pump station for water of all things, I found
It's
interesting.
still their biggest concern, though, would be Sioux Falls, would it
Their
not?
biggest concern is Sioux Falls, and they were very clear that they wanted sales tax money from Crooks exit. So if they could annex that area, there's a great deal of what they feel sales tax benefits to the city of Crooks. And they do feel that that's the entryway. Mayor Rounds said it many times, we feel this is the gateway into our community. The Crooks exit, that's the gateway into our community, which, you can't deny that. Bill Parsons, was throwing out rumors that that he had heard that there was gonna be another interchange a mile north of the Crooks Renner exit. I said, that's not true. I sit on the MPO, and there's, not in the next 20 years are they talking about putting in a new exit 1 mile north of the Crooks exit. There's just not the need for it at this point.
Put $1 million in for that.
Yeah, they won't. There's no need for it.
Well, and I think from our point of view, when they brought that forward, have they negotiated with the city? Have they prospective ordinance for us to adopt? Or do we have to do all of that, I mean, are we, just around to do their bidding on this? Additionally, as a county commissioner, I don't know how many times we've had meetings. We've had meetings here with a joint jurisdiction with the city where they didn't have a quorum. We've had meetings on Tuesday morning with the regular commission where Del Rapids didn't show up with enough. One time they came and they had enough, but it was a 2-2 tie. Lucky.
And we do have a gentleman's agreement with the city of Hartford. If you recall, when we do get something that's within, 2 miles of Hartford, we, as a courtesy, send it to Teresa Seidel, the city administrator for Hartford. They will give us their 2 cents worth, and I think that system works just as well. But Crooks has never even expressed an interest in that. I mean, they jumped right to, we went 3 mile joint zoning
And they could
ordinance.
annex it if
They
they
could.
came up with a plan to put in services and stuff, right? I mean,
They could. They did have a lot of discussion about the capacity of their wastewater system. And it was my recollection, they said another 400 people could be added to their wastewater
I
system.
thought maybe that would be one of their contentions, since we told them we didn't like what they were doing on their wastewater system.
Well, that was the aeration, if you remember that. They didn't, and they sued us over that, but I think they lost or they dropped the suit, but.
well, I think even then, there was a discussion about pumping it all to Sioux Falls to let Sioux Falls treat it. I think
That was the
Minneapolis.
Hartford deal.
Are you sure? Because I know Minneapolis used to have like 50 different treatment facilities, and now they're down to 11 or something. Because every Tom, Dick, and Harry doesn't need to have the full-on.
So this might be unfolding
Okay.
as it might be developing, evolving, but I did want to let you know
Okay.
that I did attend a meeting last Thursday, and I did a lot of speaking, way more than I thought I would.
More than you wanted to.
Well, there was so much rumor, innuendo, fear mongering, it was like a skit out of Saturday Night Live. It's sort of what it was.
Sounds like there's just a lot of communication that has to happen.
And, yeah, there needs
Maybe
to be a
get
lot
to
of.
the level of having
In
the
that
courtesy
special.
type relationship like you have with Hartford.
Exactly.
Somebody's gotta do it, right?
They would like to do that.
Mhm.
We'd be more than happy to start sending them stuff.
Yeah.
Show us the area they wanna be notified in, and
I can understand the two things, though, the sales tax revenue from the corner
Yep.
And the commercial property
and Sioux
tax.
Falls. But to me, like you said, I think that should be between them and Sioux Falls.
they need to work together, and they need to hammer that out between those municipalities. And I brought that up, and Mayor Rounds did not he said, no, I think that the people should decide where they wanna go.
Oh, yeah, the 800 people in Crooks and the 160,000 people in Sioux Falls will vote on it.
Yeah.
They made a big push. They want people to voluntarily annex into the city of Crooks, and that was another false another misconception that they were actively promoting is that if I just owned a lot in the Crooks exit, that I could annex into the city, and you can't do that. I explained that you have to be contiguous. And, you know, just, they, no,
And Scott, the joint jurisdiction, if it goes 3 miles to the east, doesn't it go 3 miles to the west as well?
well,
From their furthest point?
well, it's, the city, if you look at the boundaries that we have with the city of Sioux Falls, none of them are 3 miles. It's all negotiated.
Sure, but what I mean is those farmers
Yeah.
may not really want to be joint with the city of Crooks and the county, you know, west of Crooks.
They may not.
Maybe they do, but maybe not.
And when you get that far west, you may, as a farmer, identify more with Hartford than you do with Crooks.
Good point.
I mean, because you're getting close to, you know, if you go 3 miles, you're not that far from Hartford.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know, a lot of it's that Tri-Valley
It's the school district, it's Tri-Valley West
where-
Central.
or West Central, where it all splits up.
Ugh.
Anyway, that's all.
Okay, thank you. The next meeting they have, we'll send Mike.
I'm the diplomat, yes. You said what? Okay, any other new business needs to be brought up? Anyone like to bring up for experiences? If not, we'll call for adjournment. Is that the state's attorney person back there?
Yes.
Elizabeth, was it?
I'm Judy Ziegler.
Judy Ziegler, okay.
She's recently, a recent addition to the county. So Judy, if you'd like to, you can get up and
Yeah.
introduce yourself if you'd like.
Sure, if you'd like me to.
She thanks you for that, Scott.
No charge for that.
It's just like, it's a lot easier in court or anything like that.
Yeah, for sure. I'm Judy Ziegler. I joined the state's attorney's office July 1st. I'm also still informally special appointed assistant attorney general for the Petroleum Release Compensation Fund. Both the state and the county have agreed to waive conflicts so I could finish some of the litigation that I'm doing for the state. Some hopefully will be completed soon, some might take a little longer. So I've been a lawyer for, I think it's going 17, 18 years now. Came from having my own firm, and prior to that, I've been in different firms and with the U.S. Attorney's Office, so
Did they find you an office?
they did.
Very good.
Yep, it's a nice one, very, very cool. I like that.
Thank you for filling in tonight.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Yes,
being here.
thank you.
Where's home for you? Where'd you grow up at?
Miller,
Oh, really?
sure, yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
And county.
Move adjourn, or did we?
Yes, we need a motion, you got it.
I'm moving.
We got a motion and a second. Favor signify by saying aye.
Signify by standing up.
And putting your recyclables in the bin over there.